Chapter 4. Talking with your primary schooler.
Once children are a bit older, and say in primary school, it's almost inevitable that they will have heard the word cancer. You know, they will have heard about media stars, pop stars. They will have had friends whose parents have been affected by cancer. And so it's very, very important to use the actual word cancer for those children.
Because they have probably heard the word cancer and probably, know a friend who has a family who's died of cancer. That's why it's even more important that they hear it from their parents in terms of, what the parent's cancer is, or, what the diagnosis, what the prognosis is. And like I say, and that age is also a time where, children will go on the internet and find out as much information as they can. So it's about starting that conversation with them so that instead of going into the internet and asking, the questions they want to ask, they're actually coming to you to ask those questions.
Primary school age children are concerned about rules and fairness. So they have a very simple cause and effect logic. And this is a way for them to make sense of the world. So they might have heard somewhere that smoking causes cancer, and that's an explanatory model for them. So they'd have real difficulty, say, with a parent who had lung cancer, or in fact any kind of cancer, who has never smoked. The sense of injustice and the sense of unfairness that comes with cancer can be a problem for children this age. The other developmental issue for primary school age children is the idea of fitting in and not being different from your peers. And so if mum or dad looks visibly different as a result of cancer treatment, perhaps has scars or has lost their hair or lost a great deal of weight, this can cause them to feel quite self-conscious.
The important thing for parents, I think, to reflect on is that all children can be incredibly anxious about what's happening. If a primary school age child is anxious, they might become a bit more clingy, become a bit more like a younger child. That's actually quite common, in the same way that young children can become more baby-like. If they're scared. The principle's really quite similar, that anxious children need greater degrees of reassurance, even if at their age they would not normally need it.
Even though they may not verbally tell you, you always know when something's up, always. With Sam, I probably worried a little bit more because his personality is to withdraw a little. And I could see that happening, that when he was really worried about things, or there'd be sort of a level of anxiety that would come into his behaviours. And it's really hard to draw him out. So that was, and I think sometimes it was also a case of he didn't quite know why he was feeling the way he was.
Primary school age children still have a very simple understanding of cancer, and even though they're no longer preschoolers, may still need reassurance that cancer is not contagious, and furthermore that they have done nothing bad to cause the cancer. What one can see, particularly amongst young girls, is this very good girl behaviour, where if a little girl behaves particularly well, then perhaps she can make mum or dad well again. And that feeds into that idea of, I've done something to cause the situation.
I think there was also some differences when they visited me in hospital as well. So I noticed that when Nicholas came in, he'd ask me all the questions, how are things going, get all the facts, and he'd see me, how I looked good. So as far as he was concerned, everything was fine. He would then sit himself in a chair and quite happy to just relax and just do whatever he wanted to do when he came in, whether play a game or read a book. And whereas Sam would come in and he'd want to lie in the bed next to me and he'd want to sit there and have a cuddle and feel that closeness that I think that he'd been lacking because I'd been away. So
Remember, use the word cancer. Rules, fairness, fitting in, and what others think may be important for primary schoolers. Watch for anxious behaviour such as acting younger than they are, stomach aches, or other physical complaints. Primary schoolers need reassurance that it's not their fault.